Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary series, and it looks like we probably have Colossus Aggro versus either Marvelous Energy or Gruul Aggro. If it's Gruul Aggro, he's not having a very good start. If he's playing Marvelous Energy, he's not doing too bad, 4 energy in the bank. But if he is playing Marvelous Energy, I feel very sorry for him because, pretty much his key artillery spell has just been banned by Wizards of the Coast from Standard. But it doesn't look like he's playing Marvelous Energy. He just played Arlen Cord. Though theoretically, you could play Arlen Cord in that deck too. I mean, she is a very solid card. You could play her in any deck that runs green and red. There's nothing saying that you have to be an aggro deck to run Arlen Cord, because think about it this way. Her ability to make a wolf and then transform. Oh, the other side is running Aetherworks Marvel. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, make a wolf, she transforms, and then her -1 ability in werewolf form lets you have a little control. You have a chump blocker, and then you have control. But holy crap, Aetherworks Marvel hits Ulamog straight off. But speaking of Ulamog, since Emrakul has been banned, if people are going to continue to play Aetherworks Marvel, pretty much the only bomb worthwhile is Ulamog. And the difference between Emrakul and Ulamog is really the fact that Ulamog can win you games. It's not a guarantee. On the same token, Emrakul is not a guaranteed win, but it has a higher percentage of being a win. So, and something that I don't agree with by banning Emrakul is the fact that only one deck really runs Emrakul, Marvelous Energy. And Marvelous Energy is only about 10% of the field. That means 1 in 10 decks. Now, their argument is that, the meta, there's a lot going on to consider in the meta when dealing with Marvelous Energy. But the fact remains that most likely, you're only going to face Marvelous Energy once in every 10 games you play in a tournament. So, honestly, I don't agree. The other bans are also, personally, I disagree with them just as much. Smuggler's Copter. Their excuse is that it's ubiquitous, therefore it's bad for Standard. So they banned it. I don't see how Smuggler's Copter is negatively affecting Standard. It is not a card that wins you the game by itself. It's not an instant win card. It's not, it is a powerful card, granted, but it is not, game breaking, which is, something, the difference for me is why I don't agree with them banning Smuggler's Copter. It is a great card. That's why it's in 60% of all the decks in Standard. It's not in 60% of decks in Standard because it wins you games. Now, it can accelerate your win. It can help you win. Because, granted, it's early aggro. It's a flyer. There really aren't a whole lot of flying blockers, so most of the time you're going to get through for 3. And then on top of that, the draw effect really helps. It accelerates your tempo and theoretically can win you the game by letting you draw the cards you need sooner than your opponent. But I don't agree. For me, I just see this as another way for them to try and slow down Standard some more. I understand that a slower Standard is better for new players, and that's what they're aiming at, but I do not agree with Smuggler's Copter being banned. Let's see. Sorry, I went on a rant there. We'll cover the third card here in a second. Attune with Aether. Long Tusk Cub attacked in, became a 3/3 to kill the Glint Nest Crane, which found him in Aetherworks Marvel. We'll take Brawler. And the third card, banned in Standard, is Reflector Mage, which they say the reason why is because everybody in Standard who doesn't play Reflector Mage hates Reflector Mage, and therefore, because it's no fun to play against, it shouldn't be in Standard. Well, the problem is that Reflector Mage has been in Standard for a very long time now, and this is the first time that they've deemed Reflector Mage such a threat to fun to ban it. You know, we're going back, to the days of ban Aggro, which, finally got them off their butts and actually started doing something about Standard. They didn't ban it then. It's only now that they're banning it. And, it's a powerful card. It is. But, certain decks need a card like that, otherwise they're not competitive. It's a very good tempo boost. A 2/3 for 3, not too bad. Being able to get rid of one of your opponent's creatures for 2 turns is extremely helpful. And most of the time leads to you winning the game. Now, it's not an instant win. People can easily come back from losing a creature for 2 turns. So, the fact that they waited this long, I don't agree with their reasoning. So, 2 Cubs, Servant of the Conduit, another Servant of the Conduit. Gruul is really rolling out the creatures here. And Marvelous Energy is kind of in a real bad spot here. He's facing off against a 3/3, a 4/3, a 2/2. He's got 3 energy in the bank. Chump blocking the 3/3 because it's the highest damage value that he could block that isn't going to trample over. So he blocked 3 damage versus 2 or 2. Now, this Cub got through, so it gave him 2 more energy. Aetherworks Marvel, he's got 6 energy. Response from... Oh, wow. Negate. I was not expecting that from Gruul Aggro. That is an interesting... I wonder if he cited that in. I mean, there's no reason you can't play things like Negate in Gruul Aggro. I mean, you're running cards like Attune with Aether, Aether Hub, Servant of the Conduit, very easy ways to make a single blue mana. So, that is a very easy way to defeat Aetherworks Marvel. Most of the time, they are just going to straight up concede because the whole point of the deck is to play Aetherworks Marvel. Ouch! Aetherworks had to mulligan down to 5. Against an aggro deck, that is really bad for him. Because 7 cards versus 5 is a huge advantage, especially for an aggro deck. First turn, Attune with Aether. Now, the other 2 cards that were banned in the list were modern bans. Golgari Grave Troll and Gitaxian Probe. Which, I read through what they were doing, and basically it comes down to the fact that they think that Phyrexian Mana and the Dredge keyword are too powerful. And, they banned the 2 best cards with those abilities. Honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't just go one step further, since basically they've deemed Dredge and Phyrexian Mana too powerful to just say, all cards with Dredge and all cards with Phyrexian Mana are now banned. I mean, They did center out. Center out. That's not what I was trying to say. Single out. They did single out the two best cards with each of those abilities. But, it just kind of feels like they might as well have gone the one step further and just banned the abilities, because that's kind of what they're getting at. So, Servants on both sides, Electrostatic Pummeler. Now, this guy is very hit or miss. But then again, when he hits, he wins. If he misses, he's dead. He's a 1/1, so you have to buff him before you start activating his double up power. But the problem is that in response to you trying to buff up your guy, your opponent can respond and kill him. Your opponent is playing Aetherworks Marvel, and it looks like he's running only green and blue, but that doesn't mean that he's not running more colors, because, like I said earlier with the negate, he's also running Servant of the Conduit and probably Aether Hub and Attune with Aether. Very easy ways of setting up your mana so that you could make, say, 1 red mana, which would have been really helpful for him right there, because then he could have at least tried to harness lightning and kill off the Electrostatic Pummeler before it became a 9/9 trample, and can double up to 18 and double up to 36. And that is the game. Sorry about the rant for the bans, but, it's a big deal right now. They came out with the bans a week earlier than they had anticipated because they deemed it that important, and personally, I don't agree. Now, I don't play Standard competitively. I'm just a commentator. I'm just the voice watching games. I don't play because, personally, I do not like Standard. But at the same time, I've been exposed to enough Standard that, in my opinion, I do not agree with what they did. Oh! Well now, select for inspection. Turn target tapped creature to its owner's hand, scry 1. Wow, I was not expecting that. I thought it was game. Man, and, he slow played it perfectly. He waited for him to double larger than life. He even declared a blocker, and then went, oh, by the way, blink, it's gone. Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot, and another Glintnest Crane. But he bricks with the other crane, unfortunately. And goes in with the Servant of the Conduit, because at this point his opponent has not the greatest board presence, and, 2 damage is 2 damage, whether, it's very valuable at this point or not. Aether Hub from the other side. The biggest problem that he has right now is the fact that he still has a card disadvantage. He's got 1 in hand versus 4 from Gruul Aggro. There's another Pummeler. So, given that there are 3 cards in his hand, he has to go off the assumption that the Pummeler can kill him next turn. Because he has plenty of mana. The only problem is that he only has 5 energy. But Aetherworks Marvel, he only has 5 energy. Wow! They're both 1 short of being able to do what they would need to do. Another Electrostatic Pummeler. Okay, so now he'll have enough energy to be able to activate him twice, but he only has 3 mana to work with. Well, 4 if you count the Servant of the Conduit, since he needs multiples of 3 to activate the ability. And he passes. That's the thing about Electrostatic Pummeler, is he is a 1-shot kill. The problem is that you have to have it, otherwise he's just a 1/1. Glassblower's Puzzle Knot gets countered by Ceremonious Rejection. Does not want him to get the 6th energy and possibly win the game outright. The problem that he has right here is the fact that, depending on what buff spells he has, they might not be enough. Okay, he's attacking all in. And he's double blocking both of the Pummelers. He's trying to guarantee living to the next turn, because all he needs is 1 energy to activate the Aetherworks Marvel. Okay, Blossoming Defense. Response from Marvel, popping the Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot, which gives him 4 energy, which also gives him 3 life, puts him up to 24, which gives him enough to activate Aetherworks Marvel, which finds Select for Inspection. That is a really annoying card for aggro right here. It's saved Marvelous Energy once, and it just completely neutered this attack. Okay, in an effort to save some time on this video, I paused it for a little while until he finally activated his Aetherworks Marvel. He's had enough energy to do it for 2 turns, but now that he's being attacked, he's decided to fire off the Marvel. And finds Decimator of Provinces, which, well, it is going to help him here in the defense, and then, he's got a 7/7 to attack into next turn. So, honestly, I'm feeling like Marvel might have just won this game. I mean, he would have much rather had Decimator of Provinces come down on his own turn, but, at least this way he can block the Hydra and pretty much guarantee that it's going to do effectively nothing. And Aetherworks Marvel again. Again, trying to save some time, pausing the video for a little bit. And finds Drowner of Hope, which pretty much guarantees the win here. And aggro concedes, and I don't blame him. The Drowner would just tap down whatever he... whichever... Well, he could tap down the pummelers and whatnot. Anyway, this video went on for far too long. New band list for Standard. This was Marvelous Energy versus Gruul Aggro. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I will see you in the next video.